Just ahead on American Black Journal, an event that honors the heroes who work behind the scenes to address issues in the Black community. Plus, we'll explore the economic and cultural impact of Black art and Black artists. That's all coming up right now on American Black Journal.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. Later this month, the African American Leadership Awards will be given to unsung heroes who work behind the scenes to advance policies and political causes in the Black community. This is the 6th year for the event that honors public servants and labor, business, and community leaders. The awards are given by the African American Leadership Institute. And joining me now is the organization's founder, Al Williams. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Hey, how are you, Stephen? Good to be here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So let's start with the African American Leadership Institute.
Yes.
You founded that. What do you guys do?
Oh, okay. So we work to train, educate leaders from all over the state. Try to help them maintain a level of knowledge around the issues that affect African Americans all across the state of Michigan. And then we work to highlight, encourage, and inspire younger people to become leaders themselves.
Yeah.
And so it's a great organization. This past year we've been all over the state for the 6th time, and we're having our 6th annual award ceremony.
Right. I mean, it feels like this is filling an important gap, right? The idea of trying to cultivate African American leaders around the state.
Absolutely. And I think we've been doing a great job of that. As you know, one of the people we've worked with in the past is Garland Gilchrist.
He's done okay, I guess.
He's done okay, yeah. He's doing a little bit,
right.
Yeah. So we take pride in that,
Yeah.
and want to continue to do more great work just like that.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring up Garland because I remember when Garland was running for city clerk.
Yes.
I would run into him around town, and I would often see you with him.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't quite know. I thought, well, maybe they're just friends, and maybe Al's helping out. But this really was about the kind of things that this Leadership Institute is doing.
It's exactly what we work to do,
Yeah.
not just here in Detroit, but all across the state. We've worked with Mayor Muhammad out of Benton Harbor, who's doing some phenomenal things out there. We've worked with other local elected officials, but not just elected officials either. We work with labor leaders and community organizers, and more importantly, those locally elected officials and precinct delegates who do more than just go and vote. They really do the real work in their community. Unsung heroes is what I like to call them.
Yeah. So you're going to honor a number of them.
Yes.
With your 6th annual awards.
Yes, as we do every year. This coming Friday at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. We'll be having our 6th annual African American Leadership Awards, where we honor business leaders, community leaders, elected officials, labor leaders, unsung heroes. One of my favorite awards for this event is the Bruce Feaster Staffer of the Year Award, which normally goes to someone, a staffer of an elected official or an executive who goes over and beyond the call of duty to get their job done and do their job and represent their principal. As you know, elected officials might vote on a regular basis. Executives might show up and be the talking head on TV, but the real work is done behind the scenes by their staff. And so we like to make sure that they get highlighted. Bruce Feaster out of Flint, who the award is named after, passed away in 2016. And he literally worked himself to death that year. And so we like to make sure that we keep his name out there. A lot of people knew who he was. He was an attorney and never wanted to be in the limelight, always wanted to do the work behind the scenes. And so it's important for us to highlight those unsung heroes just like Bruce.
So how do you find the people that you end up honoring with these awards?
It's a statewide public nomination process. And so anyone can nominate. Every year the deadline is Martin Luther King's birthday, January 15th. And so people from Muskegon, Benton Harbor, Flint, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Ann Arbor, Pontiac, Saginaw, Detroit, Highland Park, and Oak Park, everybody gets in. A lot of people get involved to make these nominations prior to the deadline, and I'm still getting nominations today, even though they don't count at the deadline.
It's a little late, right?
Right. But and then we have a committee that sits down, they go through the nominations, bios, and whatever public information we can find to make the selections on who the awardees are.
Yeah. So now when you think of the city right now and the state of the city and the state of African Americans as it relates to the city and the cultivation of leadership, would you say we're in a good place or are we in a tenuous place?
I think we're in a tenuous place.
Yeah.
I think we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
I think that having Garland Gilchrist being elected is a great sign, or a good, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel now.
Yeah.
The last time that we had a statewide elected official in a position similar to that, of course, is Richard Austin.
Yeah, that's
most
people today wouldn't even know who that is. Right?
And that's one of the reasons why we started this award ceremony.
Yeah.
I was with Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, who is a co-founder of the African American Leadership Awards, and just not being able to highlight that story to young people who would say, who is Richard Austin?
Right.
The longest serving Secretary of State in the country.
Right. Was a black guy.
Yeah,
right?
he's a black guy, elected statewide, and really it's the reason why seatbelt law even exists.
Right.
The Motor Voter Act,
Right.
And being able to tell that story and inspire others to do more and do better, and I think is very important. And I like to highlight another one, Emerging Leader of the Year Award has always gone to someone like Garland. I can remember when we first started this, there was a young man who attended our award ceremony. He wasn't elected at the time, but he was interested in getting into politics. And the following year, he was 20 years old or 19. He stepped up to run for city council in Inkster. He won. The year after that, he ran for state representative and was elected as the youngest African-American state elected official in the country. And I like to say that we inspired to help inspire him to do that through our award ceremony and the institution, and that person is Jewel Jones, or State Representative Jewel Jones.
What are some of the things that you feel like threaten the future of African American leadership? You said that you felt like we're in kind of a tenuous spot. What are the hurdles?
I think the hurdles are being able to get the support not only from your own community, but from outside your community.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Garland is an anomaly.
Right.
The amount of support that he received from around the state, from individuals
around the country.
From around the country,
Right.
When he ran for city clerk, he got a donation from every state except for one, West Virginia, I think it was.
Pretty tough to get something from West Virginia.
It might not be that well known there, but getting that kind of monetary support. From people outside your own community, outside your family, is not easy. And being able to establish a name, name recognition, as you know, goes a long way in this state, especially in this city. And getting past the hurdle of establishing that name is not easy. And so that's one thing. And then the third thing is just knowing, having the knowledge of and the experience of knowing policy, how it works, how the legislature works. A lot of people can run for office but not really know how to do the job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think those are the three things that we need to get around. And then inspiring more young people like Joel Jones and Kyra out of Oakland County, who just won a state representative seat, Marcus Muhammad out of Benton Harbor, to step up and fill the void of leadership where we need them to.
Yeah. Okay, well, congratulations on the Institute and the awards, and thanks for being here.
No problem, no problem. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, well, I'm all over town, but always too busy for things that are fun.
All right,
that sounds like a lot of fun. So. All right, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, just ahead, the importance of black art in American culture. But first, we continue our look back at this program over the last 50 years. Here's a 1981 Detroit Black Journal conversation with artist Walter Morgan.
What inspired you to go into art, and are there any special feelings that you're trying to convey?
Well, I was inspired by my mother, watching her do her crafts, and just sitting around and just seeing how intense it was.
And what are you doing about it now? What type of style are you working in?
I have several styles. I work in several different mediums. Basically, I deal with the aqua media, the water-based mediums, watercolor, acrylics, and I add water to mediums that can hold it. And I'm currently working into a Prisma pencil medium, which I find very interesting. It complements my watercolors.
Now, what is that, Prisma?
Prisma pencil is an oil-based pencil. It's a color pencil, soft lead, and it gives me the effect that I want.
How have people responded to your work? What do they say when they are looking at your work?
Well, I've had negative responses, which are positive responses to me. I've had positive responses which were in a way negative. And for an example, I had an exhibit on Belial, and a lady told me that, wow, this type of work, it really doesn't do anything for me. You shouldn't exhibit this type of work because it's too real. Well, in the same instance, 2 years later, the painting was bought at the Palmer Park Arts Festival by another lady who was really into the work. She really appreciated it. In fact, she went around the park several times before she decided that she would buy it.
So
the
it
same
means
painting.
Different things for different people.
Yes. You know, you can't satisfy everyone.
In celebration of Black History Month, we're taking a closer look at the importance and impact of African American art on the American economy and culture. Black art covers a range of mediums, including paintings, drawings, sculptures, quilting, weaving, pottery, and photography. The business of collecting and selling African American art has a huge economic and cultural impact. My next guests are prominent members of the local art community. Asia Hamilton is a photographic artist and gallery owner. Desiree Kelly is a muralist and portrait artist. And Michelle Lewis is the owner of 3 Painting with a Twist franchise locations in the Detroit area. Thanks to all of you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Asia, let's start with you and tell us about your art.
Oh, about my art. Well, I am a photographer. I've been doing photography for many years. I recently opened up Norwest Gallery of Art. I'm the founder and director for that gallery. It's on the northwest side of Detroit in the Rosedale Park area. So it's just a little bit about my art.
Yeah, but you're an artist. Too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm an artist
and your
first.
art is really, really compelling, I have to say.
Yeah,
I've seen
absolutely.
some of it this
I
weekend.
love shooting portraits and textures. I started, doing photojournalism and taking a lot of pictures around the Detroit area and wanted to do something different, kind of merge portraiture and the city. So I do a series of collages that incorporate textures of the city as well as candid portraits of people.
Yeah, and the idea of starting the gallery, that's taking it to a different kind of space and broadening the impact of your work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to just create a space or a platform for artists that are on the rise, as well as have a space to exhibit and show my own work. So it was an opportunity to, just encourage African American artists particularly, and have a space for them to showcase their work.
Desiree, let's talk about your work, the murals and things that you are involved in painting.
Right, so I'm a portrait artist. I usually use oil paint as well as collage. My paintings are historically immersive. I like to specialize in painting historical figures, public iconic figures. I do have a lot of murals around the city that represent those subjects as well.
Yeah, and how did you get interested in that particular brand of art?
Right. Well, I've always painted as a hobby. I studied graphic design at Wayne State University, so that background sort of formulated how I compose my artwork today. I incorporate a lot of typography, text throughout my pieces. It's not only focusing on the portraits, but about their history and their narrative.
Michelle, painting with a twist is something that a lot of people probably have seen around town. You have 3 different locations, but a lot of people, I think, don't understand what that is or how it works. Tell us about it.
A lot of people just see other people that have
You see people in there having a good time, right?
Yes, or they're walking by. But what painting with a twist is all about just having a great time, coming out, being an artist for the afternoon or evening. Let your hair down. We paint on canvas. Our artist takes you step by step through the painting, so you leave with your own masterpiece. There's no experience required, but it's all about having fun.
Well, and like I said, when you walk by, you see people inside, and they really are having a good time. They're laughing and looking at each other's work, and like you said, they come away with their own art, which is important, I think, to say that there is an artist in all of us, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. How did you get started with that?
Gosh, it's a long story. That would be for another segment. But long story short, I went to a studio similar to ours. It was our parent company, and I just fell in love with the concept. And I said, this would be great to bring this back home to Detroit. And I did that. Worked with the franchisor to bring it to Michigan, and the Ferndale location was the first location to actually open in Michigan.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So Asia and Desiree, I want to talk to both of you about portraiture, which is something that you both are doing. There's a lot of history behind Black portraiture, and I feel like that occupies a really special space in American culture. This idea of owning the right to sort of portray ourselves is part of that history. The ways in which we're portrayed by other people in the past and even in the present. Think of the controversy we hear about right now with people wearing blackface. I feel like that's a form of the history of portraiture. So I'm really curious for both of you to talk a little about how you came to the idea of portraiture and what it means to you. Asia, I'll start with you.
One of my favorite artists is Vanderzee when it comes to portraiture. And it's the work that he displayed was just a royalty of Black culture. And I want to be able to show our people, to show women, to show just a royalty within our culture. So, portraiture is very important. As a photographer, people are constantly taking photos of themselves digitally.
Now, right? Everybody has
at
selfies,
home, there's
right?
selfies, the camera is ready and available at all times now. But they are, there is a traditional approach that is a document of our history. I can look at portraits of my great-great-grandparents, and they're so stoic and serious, and it gives you the opportunity to kind of imagine what that time was like. Sure. And when you have a just a regular candid photograph that you shoot with your phone, it's almost telling all of the truth, all of the information. So it's about storytelling, portraiture,
Yeah.
you know, seeing the real person within.
Right. Yeah. Desiree?
Right. So the way I develop my portraits is to sort of capture that history visually and make it interesting, contemporary text. I like to do a lot of research about like iconic figures, especially Detroit people that shouldn't be forgotten, especially because I'm from Detroit and I like to represent that culture, and I believe that it's necessary that we bring that along every day, make it sort of a contemporary sort of story that continues. That's a lot that I try to just make it able to be just visual for everyone to accept.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We're actually doing for Women's History Month an exhibit called The New Mona Lisa, which is it's a redefining of, you know, beauty.
Right.
And there'll be different artists around that will be doing their rendition of what they think their Mona Lisa is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, that's all very important, sort of, again, ownership of the idea of imagery, self-imagery, and things like that. Michelle and Asia, I want both of you to talk a little about the business aspect of this this idea of the impact that you can have on art and culture through business. Michelle?
The impact is phenomenal. I never thought I would have such impact by opening a studio where folks would come and paint, but it's therapeutic. For many, we've had many that walk through our studios that it's changed their life. I have so many stories I can tell with a lot of the customers that have walked in and how Painting with a Twist touched their lives. It's not just for fun, but I mean, it could be for fun. It's different for every person.
Yeah.
But you know, I just once opening the door and seeing the folks come in and seeing what this meant to so many different people and how it just touched so many people's lives. It's phenomenal.
Why do you think that is? What is it about it that touches people that way?
I think, again, it's different things for different people. For some, it gives them an outlet. Maybe something traumatic is going on in their life, and it gives them an outlet to release. And while they're there, they're doing just that, where they don't have to think about the other things that's going on in their life.
Sure.
For some, they're able to do something they never thought that they'd be able to do in a million years. Paint on canvas.
That would be me if I was there, right?
So that's amazing for them. So it's a lot of different things. Those are a couple that come to mind.
Asia?
We're talking about the impact
of
owning a business. Coming from an artist standpoint, as a gallery owner, it was an opportunity again to, you know, just to create a platform for people. But my goal was to put a gallery in the neighborhood. You know, this is the neighborhood that I grew up in. I wanted everyone to experience the art that I've experienced. You know, growing up, my dad, he owned a beauty salon, and you know, he would rave on about it being on 12th Street, and it was, you know, in the David Whitney building, and that was my goal, to be to own his shop once I got older. But you know, art just it's taken me all around the world. It's given me so much information. It's, you know, it's changed my point of view. And, you know, so I wanted to have a space in the neighborhood for people to go to and experience that, experience art from all around the world, experience new and contemporary ideas, you know. So I get a lot of people that come in and they're like, this is here? Like, this is right down the street. You know, someone did a GPS and they were like, I can walk here. they were shocked. You know, and we have to have cultural spaces like that in our neighborhoods.
And we don't have enough.
Absolutely. Okay.
Congratulations to all three of you, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Finally, we hope you can join us as we celebrate 50 years of American Black Journal at a special event on Thursday, February 21st at the Garden Theater in Midtown Detroit. I'm going to talk with past hosts and guests of the show, plus we'll have performances from local musicians, poets, and storytellers. It all gets underway at 7 o'clock p.m. Tickets are $10 and can be purchased at AmericanBlackJournal.org. I hope to see you there. That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. Check us out online, and you can always connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.